grade 12 level, you have learners that in order to be able to get into a college or university, they must take maths, not maths lit, but pure maths. And with pure maths, the difficult part of it is that it includes calculus. And I'm not sure how many of you have encountered calculus, maybe did some research on it, but I did research on your behalf, and I really found that it's a very hard nut to crack. You have to actually take a year just to study calculus on its own, let alone how it functions with maths and why it's important that they incorporate it. So there already is a gap that is there within our maths system, with our maths education, because if you incorporate calculus, calculus should be learned at maybe grade 8 level, and then you go up with it to grade 9, 10, 11. When you get to grade 12, it should be a breeze. But you only get introduced to it maybe at grade 11, and then to grade 12. And then we find that kids are struggling to understand what calculus is and why it's important to have it. And then they steadily fall out, and then they start taking maths lit. They'd rather just go to maths lit. And then when you get to maths lit, it's easy to pass, but you won't be able to get into university if you took maths lit in school, and you won't get into a good college. You'll just be able to study your average, you in an average TVET college, or that will accept you with your maths lit. But it's things that we are not told. We are just told, no, take maths lit, pass it at 30%, and then you figure it out on your own. So now, with that research and that knowledge and information, we realized that, no, man, there's a flaw in the system, and it's not catering for, underprivileged individuals like, us, who come from a poor background, or maybe we come from, because of our skin color, we sort of, we are far behind as opposed to, other institutions. So what we are trying to address is to fill that gap, because with the GED, the math is standard. It's simple math, but it caters for basically it's almost at the level of pure maths. And the credit that you assign when you do the GED program is also to the point of pure maths. So when you get that GED mathematics and you pass, your child passes it, they actually stand a chance to get into a good college, or they can get into university. And there are many universities that accept the GED as a qualification that is acknowledged. But obviously, we also speak about, what institutions accept GED as an international qualification, and should they not be able to, accept it, like Wits University. I know there are some studies that you can't take if you've got the GED, but the fortunate thing is that you can convert, or you can get a letter that states that it is accredited and it is acknowledged under the South Africa's NQF4 level pass, and it's regarded as a matric qualification. So then you go to SAQA offices, then you do the conversion. You pay a certain amount of 2,020 Rand, but then they provide you with a letter assigned to your diploma that you can then use to register at any university locally, and they will take you. But all Boston colleges now accept the GED as a qualification. You don't have to even convert it or do anything to it. So that's the GED program. And as I was stating, that it's very important that the parents know the importance of moving away from the 7 subjects that are daunting, that the kids need to understand and know, come back, there's homework, and the parent also needs to intervene and help with the homework. With the GED, there is no homework, because everything is done online and at a pace that is according to the learner's academic understanding. So you take the program, and it's a year-long program, but we monitor and help the child to steadily make the progresses that will give them the confidence to be able to go and write the final exam, which, as I said, is just the 4 subjects. And then we're moving away from 7, we are going into 4 subjects now. And I think by far, if you can be able to simplify things and make them into, like the most simplest way to understand them, and instead of doing 7, do 4, most people are inclined to going towards that route. So that's why we are trying to emphasize to the parents and the learners that have joined us today that can we please explore this together, because we have done all the research for you. We've done all the powerlifting, and we want for you to be excited about this program and engage and maybe even explore it, because there's a 5-day trial period whereby you can be able to, try and see if it's something that works for you, or if it doesn't work for you, again, you can fall back into the curriculum of 7 subjects. But for the most part, I've seen how it works for not just the learner, but also for the parents, because you remember, we're removing the inconvenience. We are actually giving you convenience now. We are saying all the time that you should have been spending helping your child, extra lessons, especially when they're in matric, and they are asking you about calculus as a parent now, where you don't know how to answer that. No, with GED, they don't have all those issues. It's a simple program, and it's easy to do. Even someone at the age of 13 can take the GED program. The way is so simple. But unfortunately, the age restriction, according to the international standards, is you have to take it when you are 17. So what we say is, if your child is 16 and maybe doing grade 11 and is going to be turning 17 maybe in October, you can incorporate the child into this program. And then they do just the 4 subjects. And then afterwards, they get their GED diploma, which is then going to make for a better future for them. And, there are many opportunities for them to be employed, because they are playing around with the computer. They are familiarizing themselves with the Internet of Things. They are familiarizing themselves with the 4IR. As we are saying, we are shifting. We are moving towards digital world. So this is a nice way to introduce them into the digital, or incorporate them into the digital world. And then when they become, adults, when they become some people that are ready for university or maybe for work, they won't struggle with first understanding the computer, because they've been doing the computer, learning through the computer. And then they understand what is required of them. Just to end it also and give it back to Neo and Figile, I'm just going to mention that if ever you've ever wondered how come you've heard about kids that have gone homeschooled, that have been homeschooled, but you've never actually seen them come to an exam in a classroom to go and write. What happens to those kids that are homeschooled? This is what happens to them. They get this qualification. Either they do the GED or they do the Cambridge, which is also another alternative. And when they get this qualification, they are given the credits because they've been doing this program online and according to their means. And then when they pass with honors, bachelors. And we just hear in the news that, hey, this child's got distinctions and she's passed with honors. Then what happens is that child is ready to get into university. And only because, those that with information, they've known this and it wasn't shared amongst us. It was a well-kept secret. But because of Corona and COVID, we had to explore these options and found that, there's actually such good opportunities that are available to everyone, regardless of age, race, and color. The Internet of Things is just open for everyone to access, and we can get our education, and it's acknowledged or accredited by our own SAQA here in South Africa. So it's validated by them as a NQF4 level 4 qualification, which is an equivalent to our matric. But it's nice because it's a diploma. You pass with a diploma. So yes, I think that's just about the mouthful I can be able to share. And I'm hoping that there would be questions and which we would be glad to address. So back to you, Newo and Figile in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Zile, for the presentation once more. Don't disappear yet.
Oh.
He mustn't go yet. Because I wanted to ask something quickly. I'm sorry, no.
Okay.
You mentioned, you explained there for IR, and you mentioned something that actually got me thinking. You said something about the teachers' jobs, with the 4IR coming into being. Is teaching one of the jobs that are being diminishing due to the 4IR? People should think of alternatives to teaching, or is it something that's going to be there?
So thank you. That's a very interesting question. So the Internet of Things is basically just empowering individuals to become educators and be educated on their own. But we will never remove the conventional way of doing things, because remember, the teaching dates as far back as, during the times of Adam and Eve. Where information has to be passed through one individual to another. So teaching will never go away. We see that with countries like Singapore and Taiwan. They are very advanced when it comes to this 4IR. I mean, their kids are doing robotics at an early age, development age, but someone is there teaching and guiding them. So it will never take the place for teaching, your conventional teaching. It's just a way to also empower yourself wherever you are. So if you see that, oh, my teacher, I don't understand what my teacher is trying to convey, then you go online, you go digital. There are so many platforms, Siri's your friend, and all these other voice activated apps where you just press there and ask a question, you get your answers.
Okay, now you've answered me. Basically, what I am hearing from you is that there will be teaching as the job, but teachers as the title is the one that will be diminishing.
Yes,
like every other job, because so many things are moving to technology instead of the conventional way of doing things. So teaching will be part of that. I will be doing something good when I learn a skill to teach to others than saying I'm gonna study teaching.
That's mainly what is happening as we speak, because you go onto YouTube, for instance, you've got so many educators that are not even accredited, but I just understand a concept and I run with it. And then I get so many views, I start monetizing that. And, I don't need to be a teacher. I don't need to be a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I hearing you correctly? That you don't need to be a qualified teacher to be teaching on the GED program, but as a student, you'll be taking an exam so that you are qualified.
Okay, so no, that's not basically what I'm saying. We do have qualified teachers. I'm just a facilitator. We do have qualified teachers, but because the program doesn't belong to us, we don't create the program. The program is already designed. It's online. What we do is we help kids to plug into the program, and then we monitor their activity. So whatever questions they have, we address. We try to facilitate in a way. So we still have teachers. The teachers are important. They will never be not important. We need teachers.
Yeah,
We
no,
grew up with teachers.
we needed to clarify that. And
Yes, and
Shailen,
Yes.
Shailen
you had a point
is
there.
actually saying it. I'm glad that Shailen is here to join us. Welcome,
Yes.
Shailen. You can now
Otherwise,
actually tell us
otherwise,
what you
Shailen will
wanted
be
to
out of a
say.
job.
Maybe I can. So I know for the parents, the reason why this question is being asked is quality assurance because it's for the children. So how these systems, how these courses are created, is the people who design these courses are teachers and are learning specialists. So they are the people who teach the children as well as teach the teachers. And these courses are designed in a way that the children can that a student can basically use the coursework without the need for a teacher. So if you are a student who is maybe average or above average in your learning ability, you can use the course without a teacher. It will just be a little bit challenging. But if you have a very smart child, they will grasp it. But where the where the benefit of having facilitators and teachers assist you comes in, is that instead of the child using the materials, the GED materials, to troubleshoot their problems, those people can just be like, "Oh, you're having this problem? Let me solve it for you. You're having this problem? Let me solve this for you." And so in terms of problem solving and making sure they learn the correct material, that's what the facilitators and teachers do. But more than that, because teachers aren't focusing, I mean, the majority of the work done in classrooms is teaching the material and also maintaining discipline in the classroom. Another aspect of teaching is motivating, mentoring, and developing higher thinking. So it's not just, oh, I've learned a fact and I must remember that fact for the test. It's, I've learned a fact and how can I apply it? How is this relevant to me? And also sometimes you're doing work that's boring. The job of a teacher is to motivate you to enjoy the work and to push through it. So yes, so we're seeing that evolution because we are freeing up that burden of teaching from the teachers. We are allowing them to do more quality things, such as maintaining the child's interest and helping them to make it more applicable to their fields of interest or perhaps their own lives.
Thanks for that clarification, Shailen. We didn't even introduce you. Sorry about that. So, Shailen Naika is a publishing and education specialist. So, anything that you need to know about this program, how it involves your child, how to integrate it, he's the man for you. So, as he has explained now, you can see that he's very clued up in that. So, parents, if you do have questions, you can present them now. You can ask questions. There's a grab mic at the bottom there of your screen, left screen, I hope. You can click on that. Then we invite you on stage. You can ask the question, or you can tap on your comments there, your questions, and then we'll take them. While you still simmering the information that you heard, maybe we can get you, Shailen, to do your own presentation there, to elaborate further on the website and the resources that are needed to top up on the GED program.
Okay, great, thanks. So
Cool.
basically, the last time I was invited on your onto your talk, I was busy talking about, well, essentially what I brought up was the fact that government public schools have basically failed the students. They're not teaching the children to basically be prepared for the working world as well as for universities. And so this presentation I'm just doing is just basically looking at, because we're looking at alternatives to matric certification, and also alternatives to how we approach matriculation. Because when we matriculate, we need to be able to go and either get a job or enter the university successfully, right? And pardon me, what we're finding is schools are not doing that. Every single year, we are seeing results are not looking good. I mean, we have seen an uptick in the matriculation pass rate, but something that they don't talk about, that pass rate, in order for you to pass matric, you need to get 40% in 3 subjects and 30% in 4 subjects. You do not, I mean, imagine that. Imagine getting 30% for 4 of your subjects and 40% for 3 of them. I mean, would you be confident in the abilities of somebody who is getting 30s and 40s? And the government has put this there so that it's just for statistics, so they can say 80% or 90% of matriculants passed. But are they competent? If someone comes into your business and they show you on their matric certificate that they have a 40% understanding of English or Zulu, does that give you confidence? Do you want to employ that person? And that's and some universities are accepting these students into thinking they can maybe help them, but that's why we're seeing such high dropouts. And so that's one element. Another element is once again to promote pass rates, right? Students are being dissuaded from doing pure maths to doing maths literacy. Now this helps the school in that maths lit is much easier to pass than pure maths. But if I'm an employer and I look at your matric certificate, if you have maths lit and somebody else has pure maths, you can have 80% in maths lit. If he has 50% in pure maths, I'm taking the pure maths person. And that's a reality that's not being explained to the children. And then a third element is high school, preparing for the working world, preparing for university is not just going to school. A lot of middle class and upper class children, predominantly white children, what they're doing is they are doing after school activities that give them an edge in the working world and at the university. So they are doing design courses, they are learning to code, like Fuzile brought out, they are learning about robotics from as young as primary school. And so what happens is you've got this kid, for example, C++ is a coding language used to make applications like Microsoft Word or even the Windows software that we use. So he will have some of these kids will have spent 2-3 years developing a portfolio. They will, when they matriculate, they will go to the university or the scholarship person and tell them, look, I've coded this program, I've created this game. Or they will show them a portfolio of artwork that they created while they were in high school, during their after hours or even during their schooling hours. And they will say, alongside my matric certificate with pure maths. And then you come up for that same scholarship or that same job, and when they ask you, so what do you have? And you just say, I have a matric certificate. So you can see the vast difference between the two. And then when you go and do an IT course, for example, so you're going to do an IT course and they're teaching you about C++ or CSS or JavaScript. It's the first time you're seeing this. And so you have 6 months to learn about the material, and then you write an exam. But now this other child, he's been working with JavaScript for 3 years already. So when he walks into class, he's not stressing, he's not learning new things. This is work that is old to him already. So when that exam comes, he gets 100%. It's so easy for him to do. Additionally, when applying for scholarships, If you are applying for an IT scholarship, that person, they know that you're going to be learning JavaScript, and they are concerned. They want to make sure that you pass, so they don't waste money on you. So you have, on one hand, you have somebody saying, I love IT, I'm interested in IT, and I want to do that. Look at my maths mark. I hope it's high enough for you to give me the scholarship. On the other hand, you have another person saying, I love IT, I've experience with it. This is my maths mark. I hope it's good enough. But if that's not good enough, look, I've been working on the same stuff I'm going to be learning at university. I've already learnt. So I'm guaranteed to pass. Please invest in me. So who would you give the scholarship to? And that's what I'm going to be pushing. So this isn't now the thing is, this is not all gloom and doom. I'm not here to do that at all. I'm just speaking about the realities. Now the beautiful thing is that the internet is the great equalizer. There are so many courses online that are allowing us today, free courses as well as affordable courses online, that are allowing us to be able to gain the same experience and the same knowledge as these people who are much wealthier than us and have access to more resources. So and for those who are pursuing their GED, so the thing is, you'll be doing 4 subjects, maybe 5 subjects if you so choose, and which is much. If you were to go to do your matric, you would be doing 7 subjects. So there is a lot more time that you have because you're only doing 4 subjects. In addition to that, your GED course gives you 12 months to 2 years to cover the material. Now let's take 12 months to cover the material. Let's not be exorbitant with our use of time here. In comparison, the academic school year is 9 months, right? Because there are school holidays where you do not have access to the textbooks or the resources or the teachers. So already doing your GED with 4IR, you have 12 months to work instead of 9 months, and you're focusing on 4 academic subjects instead of 7 academic subjects. So there's a lot more time for you to be able to, in order for you to be able to work on those subjects. But that extra time that we have for those gifted learners, another thing is, because of the flexibility that we have in terms of learning, and because of the one-on-one interactions that you're having, and the mentoring, because you can work at your pace, what you'll tend to find is a lot of people actually complete their GED courses ahead of schedule. So there's actually a lot of, even though more time is provided, people tend to work even faster than if they were working at school. Now, with that free time that you're given, we're not going to be spending this time on Facebook wasting away. One of the things that we're busy promoting is the use of online resources. And this is also for you other parents who perhaps your high school kid, perhaps you have children in primary school or high school who are not yet in Matric. For those viewers who are not yet in Matric, I'm just going to showcase a few of the resources that we want to expose you to that you can use. Now this is sidetracking slightly, so hopefully I'll be able to share my screen properly. Let's pick the window. Lovely. Okay, so the screen that I'm sharing with you, so the first one I want to showcase is Khan Academy. So Khan Academy is a free to use resource if you go online, and they provide teaching material and courses from preschool to grade 12, right? So for those of you who have children who are not yet 17, thinking, how can I assist? Well, they have all these courses, as you can see, where you can find some additional material to assist your child. And the reason why it's good to start now with a young child with this is get them used to using online learning resources, so that when the opportunity comes for them to do their GED, they already have experience with it. And what's also lovely about these materials is that these materials are designed for you, the parent, to utilize with your child, or for your child to utilize without you. And of course, um, if if um, if your child if you don't have time for it, then that is something that you can pursue with us in order to be able to provide these extra tuition to your child to prepare them. So then after Khan Academy, another resource. Now this is something for the younger ones and for everyone who is not pursuing their GED but is interested in online learning. This is a resource I highly recommend all of you go to. But then for those who are busy pursuing their GED, or perhaps are looking at the online learning, the additional resources I want to draw your attention to are, so we've got Alison.com. Alison.com is a website which offers online learning, online courses. Some of these courses are accredited in South Africa. We can assist you in finding which of those courses are accredited. But what you can do is you can hop on here. Most of the courses are free, and you can either get certified in certain subjects. You can even pursue a certificate or a diploma while you are doing your GED. Remember, you have all this free time while doing your GED, and you can utilize this website in your free time to make sure that you have an even stronger CV when you enter the work market. Now, Alison is free, as I said. There's quite a number of certificates and diplomas on here. And some of them are actually recognized in South Africa. In addition to that is LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is another material. Formerly lynda.com. They were purchased by LinkedIn. Now, one of the benefits of LinkedIn Learning is that LinkedIn Learning, they have extremely useful certificates in here. There's a lot of free certificates and there are some premium certificates, but essentially you can pay a subscription fee to be able to access all the content on their website, so as many as you can do in a month. And one of my favorites to point out to any person who is in Matric right now, heading into university or the working world, Excel. The Excel courses on here are absolutely amazing. Here we're showing the courses actually show you the time commitment. There's a 38-hour course, there's a 4-hour course, there's a 2-hour course. Utilizing this will help you in the business environment. If you're going to be working in business or administration, the certificates offered on lynda.com will give you an edge in your job application. And the beauty of lynda.com is when you complete a course and you become certified, those courses are automatically added to your Lynda profile for people to see, and it assists, because remember, LinkedIn is a job search engine. So it will actually help filter work to help you find work that you are qualified for. Then, once again, going to the high schoolers, I would like to introduce you to Code Academy. Code Academy is a free-to-use website. They offer tons of lessons on coding. You learn. I believe they have all the different computer languages on here, so you can actually learn how to code with the various computer languages. And the beauty of it is, for somebody who's looking at going into the IT world or going into the computer world, they help you to learn the skills and learn the languages that you need that are relevant for your career field. They have free courses to get you started, and they go up into premium courses that are certified and recognized in South Africa. And the beauty of this is you can actually start in while you're still in high school. You don't need any special software. You just need to log onto their website, and you'll be able to work on the website at your own pace. Next, for those who are more design inclined, if you are a creative individual and would like to work with digital art, video editing, Adobe.com, if you go to their help and support section, they offer tons of free tutorials. My primary focus for anybody, an essential skill is Acrobat tutorials. If you go to the help and support, the Acrobat tutorials, they will teach you how to master Acrobat. Now, while there isn't certification here, it's extremely important for you to be able to learn these skills, because Acrobat is actually an extremely powerful tool, and this is essential in the business and administration fields. So having your child learn this in high school and be able to apply it to their assignments, especially if you're at university, when you're submitting assignments, you're going to submit beautiful assignments that are well structured, and submitting well structured, beautiful assignments will definitely gain you the favor of your professors, meaning you get better marks for your assignments. Then next is Skillshop by Google. Now, Google Skillshop is designed for, it's completely free, and they provide you with certification. And what it does is it gives you the skills to be able to completely utilize all of Google's tools. Any business that has an online presence will value these services, because, and especially if you are a entrepreneur with your own business, learning these skills will allow you to be more visible on Google, so that when someone Googles a service related to your business, you will show up faster and you will show up closer to the top. And it will also tell you something about the people searching for those services. So you can know, where are the people Googling this? Are they clicking on your website, or are they looking for your services? And it can even help you tell you why they didn't pick you or why they picked you. So you can do this to help boost your business. It's absolutely essential. Then lastly, I just want to bring up two more websites. Udemy and Coursera. Now, some of their courses they offer certificates, diplomas, and even degrees online. Some of them are recognized in South Africa officially, while they are not accredited by South African South African Qualifications Authority. Businesses will still recognize them, and they will definitely do well to show on your CV. The beauty of Coursera and Udemy is that they actually give you the option to do certain courses for free, where you will learn theory and you will watch talks by professors. So you learn the content, and then you can actually decide whether or not you're interested in the course. And if you decide that you want to become certified or get credits for these courses, you then pay, and they will give you access to the assignments, which you will do and get marked, and in the end, you'll get your qualification. However, if you go through the course and learn the material, but do not think that it is for you, or perhaps you do not need the certificate or degree, you can choose not. So that's the beauty of these websites. And I highly recommend, especially if you're in grade 10 or 11, or even in grade 12, or doing your GED. Sometimes you are not sure what you want to do at university. You don't know which course you want to pursue. If you go to Coursera, or if you go onto Udemy, and edX is another resource that I haven't put up. If you go onto these websites, you can have a taste of these courses and see, is this something that I'm interested? Is this something that I want to do? Because the reality for a lot of us is we have certain ideas of what we want to do because of what people have told us, but we haven't experienced it. Sometimes we think something isn't for us. For example, if you think about law, perhaps we think that reading all those legal books and speaking the legalese is too boring for us. But maybe when doing the course material, the information that you learn, and the exercises where you get to make your argument or something that you find interesting, perhaps you're not someone who thought you were legally inclined. All of a sudden, you find that you are enjoying the legal courses. Perhaps you're someone who thought that you wanted to be an accountant, and then you're doing the accounting work and you find that you're not interested in it. If you go and do the accounting course ahead of schedule, what's nice is that you do the material, you look at it, you say to yourself, oh, I don't actually like accounting. I know I'm good at it, but I actually prefer something else. Now you're doing this in high school while you have time to change, while you haven't invested money, while you haven't wasted time not being in the working world. So these are the opportunities that this provides. This early exposure allows for better decisions and more informed decisions so that you actually enjoy the decisions that you make. And lastly, the skills that you get from pursuing these courses, these are skills that you can use in entrepreneurial activity. Perhaps, for example, if you learn how to design a website, or if you learn how to use Photoshop or video edit, while you are studying at university for your law degree, or to become a teacher, or to become an accountant, you can use these skills after hours to have a small business that can earn you money. Or alternatively, you can take these skills and apply them full-time. So this is the benefit of pursuing these websites before even leaving Matric or while you are in Matric. And then lastly, you might be asking, okay, so these websites are available online for me to be able to work on. Do I need to, so why would I want to be making use of people like Fazila and myself? Well, simply put, it can help save you time, effort, and frustration. You tell us what you're interested in, you tell us what you would like to pursue, and we can help direct you to those resources and go through those resources with you. Remember, we're mentors. We can show you the experience and we can help you navigate those problems. That way you can focus on the material that you want to focus on, so that we can motivate you when you're feeling uncertain about things, so that you can get the results that you want and get that targeted solution. Right? Just remember, the school environment that we have right now, originally, before public schools were a thing, how were people educated? There was a master at something, or at some craft, a blacksmith or woodworker or an accountant. And what would normally happen is he would get an apprentice, and the apprentice would work under him and take from his experience, and he would get to practice on that material. It was something. There would be maybe 1, 2, maybe 10 apprentices working under a mentor. But now we've got this industrialization of education, where you have a classroom where you have one teacher, and he has a classroom with 30 to 40 students. 30 if you're in a private school and lucky. But for the reality for most public schools is you're probably competing for his attention with 40 other students. And the public education is designed to appeal to the average student. So if you're above average, you're being slowed down by the other students. Or if you're a bit slower than the average person, you're being forced to keep up with pace, and we find a lot of them are falling behind. what you're getting here when you're busy using places like 4IR is you're getting tailor-made education. Tailor-made in the sense that you have your 4 qualifications to get your certification, and then you're getting that assistance to be able to pursue additional extra skills, so that when you are 18 years old or 17 years old, when you have that matric equivalent degree and you go into the working world, you have some experience. You're not just going in blind. You have some working experience, hopefully, as well. And you have that motivation, because you have that confidence that what you're doing is the correct thing. Because remember, when you go onto these websites or when you're exploring this content, it'll be your first time doing it, but it'll be our 10th or 11th time encountering it. And with that experience, hopefully we can give you those additional benefits. So that's everything I have to say. Are there any questions? Perhaps Neo, you can take over from here.
Thank you, Jalen, for that. And I think the parents have had enough. They have enough information to make a decision there. One thing that you that I also picked up there. So some of these websites that you just presented, they are not for GED. They just to top up what because when we do GED, you're expected to do 4 subjects, and if you're doing 4 subjects, when you get to tertiary, you might also select 4 subjects for the semester or 6 subjects for the semester. But already, because you started with your GED, and then you added to the GED using these websites, you kind of like well-oiled machine when it comes to tertiary level. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We're using there's certain skill development that you're getting, because what you must understand is also, I forgot to bring this up, how you pursue your GED, the education style of doing your GED, as well as using these external resources, is very similar to the learning environment of university. There are a lot of students who excel at this public school, at the school environment, because there's a lot of hand-holding, and the manner of the structure. And then when they go into university, they're hit with a very different reality. And this is where we prepare you additionally. You get the correct amount of assistance and mentoring from your teachers, but you're not soft. You're battle hardened. When you go into the university environment, you've experienced this before. You have a year's experience, but in addition to that, this is an alternative to the current way of doing matric. Currently, we sit there, we have the teacher show us these subjects, but these are additional, these are more useful subjects we want to show you. This isn't, that joke, I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but I don't know how to do my taxes. That's a common it's a common joke amongst first years. So one of the beautiful things is now you're ready for the world, and that's the thing, getting you real world ready.
When you're saying you're getting ready for the real world, I'm just reading a message from Telegram. By the way, we stream into Telegram as well. So one of the audience is saying, this is not a question but a confirmation. I was able to get exposed to what I love, which is technology, at a young age. Started working while I was in grade 11. When work life started, I knew exactly what I needed to do. And by the way, now he's like a IT manager. So this really works. And I wanted to ask Fuzile. Fuzile, are you still there? You said you also have an experience, not experience, but somebody that you also worked with. Are they connected here to share the experience, or are you just going to relate the experience for them?
They are connected. They were struggling a bit with their internet, but
Okay.
it seems like the issue was resolved. I think Sbongile Dlamini.
Oh, Swangile. Okay, let me give her a mic.
Yes, yes. And with
Swangile,
her
you can
daughter,
grab a
because her
mic
daughter
there.
is also there.
Who's there? And who else?
Kensani.
Kensani. Okay, I don't see
Yes.
Kensani.
Oh, they said they are both tuning in with one device.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me approve her quickly.
Because she was struggling also with the internet. It was giving them a hard time, and I said she must tell that internet I'm gonna come over and give it a try.
Okay, I think they're still struggling to connect. Because I've given them
Okay.
a mic. But Swangile, if you wanna say something, you can relate on. You can type it if you can.
While we
Okay.
are waiting for Sbongile and Kensani
Yeah.
Newo, I just wanted
Okay.
to ask Shailen, this is a wonderful program, I must say, and which kept me thinking, is there a way of expanding this program to the government institutions, like the government schools? Because I feel I'm all about giving back to my community most of the time. No one knows. So I'm just thinking about those who are from the disadvantaged background. You mentioned something about them being hit when they get to varsity, no matter how hard they've worked and they've passed their matric. But when they get to varsity, some of them they fail, they go back home, and some of them they struggle all throughout their university life. So, is there a way of expanding this program to the government school? If there is, what will be that way? Or can we incorporate the normal learning of, I don't know if it's possible with the 7 subjects and the 4 subjects, but my thinking is if I am enrolled in the GED program, my brain works differently from the one who's not enrolled there. So I am able to help my brain in functioning, which will make it easier for me to pass the other 3 subjects. Can it work? Or what is your take on that?
Okay, that's actually a beautiful question. Thank you so much for that question. So the first part, yes, exactly. So we have these students that are coming into university. I will just relate a story quickly before I go into it. There was when I was at UWC. So there was this one boy. I can't remember what his name was, but he came from the Eastern Cape, and he came from a more rural school. Did not at all have the facilities that we had. His first exposure to a computer was at UWC, and he had
Same as me.
okay, same as you. Well, the thing is,
Same as me.
I for my maths mark, I had a 70% for my maths mark. It was extremely difficult to get that mark. He had 94% for his maths mark, so he is by no means not an intelligent person. It's just that the problem he had with his assignments was so he did not know how to work Microsoft Word. He did not know how to work Google search engine because he didn't have a cell phone. He'd never had a computer, and so we would go to the university facilities, and I was teaching him how to Google something, and then I was teaching him how to use Wikipedia, and I was teaching him how to use Microsoft Word, and my marks for first year were better than his marks. He was way smarter than me, but when it came to assignments, and doing the research. He had no experience with that. I was fortunate that I had experience with that in high school, and my mother had that experience. He was living on res, so he couldn't even ask his mother for assistance with that. So that is why it's important for your kids to learn that. Then going into so that's just a little piece there. But then going into the actual question, so like I said, the GED style of learning is similar to that of universities. So if you are passing your GED, if you are working positively in that environment, then when you enter university, you are not going to have a problem adapting to the university environment because it's very, very similar. So that's the one element of it. And then into incorporating government. So one thing I think if there's any businesses involved or members of the community who are like more politically minded, I think one thing we can do as parents, maybe as a community, maybe we can get a community and speak to the businesses. And I think one thing we need to do is the GED is something that works, because if you go to SAQA, you pay them 2,000 Rand to stamp a letter that says this is a matric certificate equivalent. So recognize it, right? They don't do anything magical. They don't teach your child anything new, right? You're just paying them 2,000 Rand to give you a letter. So one of two things. If you want to approach the government and speak to them, I think one thing we can do is maybe speak to them about just bypassing that completely. Having businesses or institutions. All government has to do is, notify these higher ed institutions or notify businesses. The GED is an official qualification that is equivalent to our matric. Please accept students who have this directly, so they don't have to go to SAQA. They don't have to waste the time with that. Or alternatively, we can have them lower that fee, because the people that we're trying to get to use the GED are the people that we're targeting are people who are not as economically, well, let's just say it's quite an economic strain just to pay 2,000 Rand for a letter regardless. But as things currently stand, perhaps we as a community can go and speak to businesses and say, look, I have this child, he's doing his GED. When he has that GED, not before, when he has that GED, when he's passed, if he brings you that certificate that says he passed his GED, can you please donate 2,000 Rand? You don't have to give it to me. You pay it straight to SAQA so that he has a matric certificate. So there's no chance for abuse or corruption or wasting money, because the child's done the effort. He's got the qualification. All we need to do is just please pay SAQA so that my child has this matric certificate, so that he can get his scholarship, so that he can go to university, or so on or so forth. So I think that's something we should pursue. So in the interim, maybe you can speak
can I also
about that. Yes, sorry.
Can I also add to Shailen's comment? So I did do some in-depth research where I spoke to the Department of Basic Education via email. So we're in communication with them, and they have a DBE online platform where they are also trying to incorporate the CAPS curriculum into the system. But when I suggested the GED program, they accepted it because it's already accredited. So the only thing is that we need to first get it in motion. And then when we get to a position where the Department of Education can see the value that, this is actually bringing, and the change it's bringing into our previously underprivileged communities, then they will jump on board, because they are not against the program and the progress that they can see it can make. So it is conversations that we are having with the departments. Not only just the department, we are also looking to get corporate investors. Ashton, who was also meant to be here, He's a managing director at RC Suppliers, where they supply gadgets. So we are having conversations in terms of getting this the GED to be easily accessible, especially to underprivileged communities. So in such a way that one of the things that he mentioned was that they are in a position whereby they can be able to provide the equipment with the software or with the learning tools attached to it, but at a monthly premium. So rather than the parent having to pay exorbitant amounts in one go, that we can just break it down. But it's, as I say, we just need to get it going so that, you know, people can really see that it is something that can have an impact in all communities, whether be it's well off or people that have limited resources. But it's something that we are working on.
Okay. Shailene, before you address that question, roughly how much would a parent spend on the equipment to run all of this program? Fuzili?
Oh, I would know the answer to that.
You wouldn't know, okay.
So, yeah. So basically, the software in itself, the learning tool, we get it from GED Academy, my GED Academy, and the basic charge to get access is 2,999 rand. And then what they do is they give you access via your email address and a password. So it's a year-long access that you can learn at your own pace. But then after you've learned and studied, then to go and take the exam, one exam costs $85. So rand to dollar conversion, that works up to almost 1.2, 1.3, depending on the fluctuation of the rand dollar. And so per subject. So you can imagine that is maybe, when we worked it up, it comes to 7,700 rand for the whole year for the program. And we're not talking about the hardware. We're just talking about, you know, having access and writing the exam. But you also need to have a computer with internet, and maybe with UPS, with Eskom showing us flames these days. So, but now that's where Ashton was going to be. That's what Ashton was going to be assisting us with, because they are already in the e-learning sector, where they have been providing schools with gadgets and just generally setting up the whole mainframe, where it's easy to monitor from parent to child. The parent has controls, because you know how kids they can watch YouTube instead of being in learning. So there is a mainframe that is designed by these tech individuals, and they provide you with the gadget. It becomes in a form of a tablet that is ruggerized. It's called ruggerized tablets. So you can drop it, throw it against the wall, nothing happens to it. So that was basically Ashton's contribution towards what we were going to be discussing with. So
unfortunately, he was not
as time
able to
progressed, we will. Yes, but as time progressed, we might be able to send images of what we, have images of exactly what we are talking about. But that also will have a separate charge.
Okay. So if you want to find prices or pricing on the equipment and what is needed, if you hover your mouse over one of the participants, maybe Fuzile, you'll be able to connect with him. And when you're connected, you can chat and then get the pricings whenever you want to. Shailene, you can answer the question now.
Yeah. So that question just ties in with Vikile's point. So what we want to do is, so the GED is the beginning of what we're trying to do, because the whole thing is to basically help push South Africans into the online learning sphere, because in the online learning sphere, they will have the freedom and the resources to educate themselves as they need. So currently we're working on focusing on the GED side of things, because that's the most important for us right now. But hopefully we'll be going down to the grade 7 levels. But if you like, Faith, what you can do is, as Neo said, if you hover over my screen, you should be able to see my profile, and then you can message me on that profile, and then I can perhaps give you a bit better, more personalized advice with regards to that. Because yes, where we can find ways to find more engaging ways. It might be his classroom environment is not conducive to good education, or it could be his teachers boring, or it could be his subjects he's not interested in. So if we find subjects that he likes, and that's part of what we do, we speak to them, we find out what subjects they're interested in, and then we introduce them to those subjects, and then we help get the ball rolling with that. I think then you might find he's a lot less over education. And then once again, to Fikile's point, so one thing that we can do, there are people, as we just said, the hardware expense is a bit of a thing. If we can, as communities, get businesses or schools to provide computers with internet connections to the students, then what we can do is we can basically have people like Fuzila and myself come and give a presentation to these students, and perhaps maybe spend a day online. And the beauty of it is it can happen online, so it can happen anywhere in South Africa. We can go online and we can show them all these resources, show them how it helps them, motivate them to use them, to use Code Academy instead of Facebook, to use Coursera instead of TikTok, and then they can get started at a nice young age, working on these things. So what we can do right now is we need to get computers in the hands of these kids with a nice internet connection. So I think that's something we need to push for right now, is that. And then from there, there's people like myself and Vuzile who are happy to promote this to them, and to give them a little bit of an edge, to give them a little bit of advice and motivation.
While you're talking about the internet there, what is the internet speed requirement? Because, for instance, the platform that we're in, at least if you have a 3 Mbps upload up and down, you're sorted, And there are other platforms where they need 5. If you go less than 5, then you get disconnected. So when you're using the GD's program,
we've actually used it, Neo. And when we started, we had 10 kids connected to my PC. And I'm not promoting the brand that we were using, but we were registered using Rain. And it connected all the 10. And, it was videos, because I think the videos, because they are, it's not high quality videos. It's videos that are animated. It's animated, yes. So it's not high quality videos. It's just animation, and you've got like a block.
Okay.
Then you answer the question. So you can connect. We connected 10 on a 5G, on a 4G, in fact, not a 5G, because we didn't have access to 5G. And it was working until it wasn't. But when we started,
until it stopped raining.
It stopped raining. So I mean, it's not too bad in terms of data. It doesn't chow that much.
Figure you're muted. We didn't get that.
I know. Hey, I was giving Shailin the platform to speak, and Fuzile. They're the most important people to speak today. Hey?
That's good. All right.
Yes.
So, are there any more questions, comments?
Partly answered, I think it's a matter of, because we still have parents here, but, I'm looking at introducing such a program to the more disadvantaged schools. The reason for this, I could relate to the boy who was from Eastern Cape, although it took me forever to finish my undergraduate degree because in high school, I was the smartest kid, but I came to university, then I had to compete with somebody who was taught these things better than I was. I learned everything in my vernac. I learned English in my vernac, Afrikaans in my vernac, English, biology. All this was taught in vernac. And when you get
Yeah.
to varsity, it's difficult to understand. Not that you don't know or you don't understand the question. Not that you don't know the answer to the question, but you don't understand the question. You don't understand the requirements. Only when I got to my postgrad, I started realizing that, I need to read to understand this thing for me to be able to pass. And that was way, way after that. I see this trend with so many learners going to varsity and going back home, especially from the disadvantaged areas. Hence, I'm asking if it is possible for us to at least incorporate it with their education, because I cannot say let's get them the GED program and exclude some of the learners, because not everybody will be able to. But if it can be at least incorporated with the normal schooling for them to understand how to study, to understand a content, instead of cramming. That's one thing that we do, cramming, studying to pass, and things like that, because that's how we are taught. That's how it gets more difficult for most learners to pass, because they have to cram this thing. They don't know how to study. They don't know how to prepare for their examination. But what I figure in the GED program is, how can you take this and use it at a later stage?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot has been covered. I don't have any questions from my side.
I know I talk a lot now. All the questions are taken now.
You're okay. You're okay. I mean, it will be Fuzile number one and then you number two.
Wow, I don't know if it's a compliment but just to be myself, I also just wanted to throw a challenge to the parents, because as we are talking about the amount that they had to pay, it might seem like a steep amount to pay towards getting this GED. But when you do your own cost analysis and analyze how much you already pay for your child's schooling, uniform, etc., you'd find that it almost is equal to the same amount that you would be paying for the GED program. So if you really are interested to secure your child's future and give them the confidence, I think you cannot set a price on that. We can try as best as we can to be able to try and make this exercise something that your child explores and take it further. So please, parents, I applaud. I appeal not to register, or no, Fuzile wants us to register, but you can even do it on your own. But please explore this option of taking your child to the GED as an alternative.
Fuzile, I was shocked. In fact, I was gobsmacked when my wife told me she was speaking to somebody that they needed to pay school fees for their child, and for the whole year is about 100,000. I'm like,
Ooh, Saint Stithians.
100,000.
Exactly.
They're not even in tertiary. They're not even in tertiary.
Yeah.
I just don't see myself paying 100. Maybe because I don't have children. It's
Yeah,
kind of
you're talking about that,
I
Noah.
can't.
Yeah.
You don't imagine yourself paying that amount of money, for education, for a child, for a year.
Look, look, think
It's
about
very
this.
steep, I must say. And if only I knew about the GED program, I would have actually enrolled my kids a long time ago. I think I would have saved a lot of money, because now he's doing IT at varsity and he's learning about coding. I saw that coding can be learned online, like quick.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
I think we I don't know how to put this, but we think a certain way because we go to school. So there's a structure that we have
Mm,
to follow. And
yeah,
I think the
yeah.
GED is just dismantling that to say you don't really need to go to a school and wear uniform. You can actually do this for you to be able to get to where you want to be. Of which, what we really need is the end results.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. All about
so,
that.
so
Can I
you
just
said,
do
okay.
Yes,
sorry,
Shay.
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Leo. I hope you don't mind if you just give me 3 minutes, or like
Yeah, go
I just
ahead.
want
Go
to
ahead.
show you something, the value of a mentor. If is there time?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, great. So this is
Yeah.
for, I think, Fikile, you did your undergrad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing, I'm just going to show you something. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to
Okay.
love this. So anybody who's done their degree is going to absolutely love what I'm about to show.
Okay.
So now, when you are doing your degree, when you're doing your assignments, you need references, right? Um, and when you're doing references, they will always tell you you cannot reference Wikipedia, right?
Mm,
Wikipedia, you are not allowed to reference Wikipedia. So this is the value of having a mentor, somebody who's done this before, because they can show you how to cheat the system in a legal way. So let's just pick a subject. What's a subject we can talk about here? The Constitution, right? Maybe you are writing a history piece on the Constitution of South Africa, and you want to. If you read Wikipedia, the thing about Wikipedia is it's lovely because it's easy to understand, and there's so much you can learn, right? But now here's the thing: like I said, you can't reference Wikipedia. The thing is, so maybe talk about something. So the Constitution was when you talk about it was when it was drafted and it was replacing an interim constitution. So you've got this paragraph over here, right? And you want to reference it. Now, all you do is you see that lovely little one over there. That's the reference that this information came from. So if I click on it, there's my reference for my paper, for my exam paper. And I'm not referencing Wikipedia. I'm referencing the Constitutional Court of Africa. Or if I want to talk about the amendments to the Constitution, look for I can't. I don't have to reference this page. I need to look where's the. I'm just looking for an example here of another citation. So, oh, okay. This
wow, this
article,
is
this is a
amazing.
bad example, but I did this in university. This is how I always got 80%, 90% for my exercises. Here, if I'm talking about the finance part of the Constitution,
Yeah.
I don't reference Wikipedia. I use these references over here. I'm not referencing Wikipedia. I'm referencing Business Live.
Wow.
I'm referencing the South African government. You see, this is a little trick that maybe for those university. Ooh, let me stop doing that.
Where were
For
you,
those of you,
Shailen, 5 years ago? Because
Wow.
I needed this. Talking about the differences again in education, going to the public university in South Africa and going to the private one is totally different. I never learned about referencing when I was doing my undergrad. And when I got to uh, my postgrad in a private institution, they want me to do this. And only a first year student can assist me with all these things. That's the disadvantage we face. So if GED can do this, I do believe that our kids will be somewhere further than we managed to reach.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was very informative, and I know some of you are scheduled for load shedding at 8. Before we lose you, let's wrap up. So, if you have any more questions, you can use the chat function. We'll always pick up the chat even after the show. And pricing, Fuzile can also help or direct you to the right person for the pricing of equipment and all of those. But you have a choice to go wherever you want to. And if you need direction about the website, Shailen is the man for you. If you need anything about the finance, Figile is there for you. Well, I'm here to host everyone. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that we will see you next time for our next show. And we're signing out. No, in fact, before you sign out, let's see if we can have a selfie, another selfie with everyone now. It's nice to have a selfie. Let's see. You get up from there, just take a photo, look into your camera, smile, take a photo, and then okay. I hope mine came out nice. Okay, I'm gonna take another one. I'm not very good with photos. Okay, let's see. 4 people finish. Swangile, I don't know if you're able to, Faith. Please join us. Take a picture there.
I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love this feature. It's awesome.
I love it too. I love it too.
This is my highlight whenever you invite me.
Oh yes. Next time I'll just
We're
invite
all
you for
looking
this.
forward to this part, eh?
Okay. Okay, let me finish it off. 5 people finished. Okay, who else is coming?
Thank you.
2 is left. Who's the 2? Please take part if you can. Just take a picture for a selfie. Look into the camera.
We can actually accept a dark picture. We understand we are in South Africa. There's load shedding. I'm just saying. We are in South Africa. There's load shedding.
There's load shedding. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna end it. Right. Okay. Our picture is rendering. Let's see. Ooh.
Thank you. I look better.
You do.
I look better. I was smiling.
Fuzzy and I got the identical poses.
Well, you're copying me, eh? I see you. Great minds.
Okay, guys.
Great minds
think alike.
Thank you so much. Let's enjoy this video, and then we all out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Next time. Thank you very much, Newamira.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Shailene. Thanks
for the platform. We appreciate it. Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
It's our
And that was Fuzile. Bye. We're signing out.
Hey.